Welcome to Monaco for this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. It's a race that is truly steeped in history, but before the drivers turn their attention to winning, they first need to get through today's tricky practice session. I'm here with Anthony Davidson once again. Nice to see you, Ant, and I wanted to ask you about how you go about improving the car over the course of a practice session. How much would you say is already known from the pre-race simulations? And how much do you have to do, how much do you have to work on with a real car on a real circuit?
Well, that's a good question, Crofty, and I suppose the simple answer is that there's no such thing as too much information. As you say, the bigger teams have very complex simulations, vast numbers of clever people crunching the numbers back at base, but what they can't tell you is stuff like how the track condition's going to be, or what the temperature's going to be doing over the course of the day, and how all of that's going to be interacting with the tyre. There are so many millions of tiny variables involved in getting these cars around a racetrack quickly, but the computer can't tailor the car to a driver's specific balance requirements. At some point, you still need to put a human being in there and have them feel it through the seat of their pants. And that's why we end up with different drivers having different setups. So what I'm trying to say is, Crofty, nothing beats on-track testing.
So, we'd like to run the acclimatisation programme if you have a chance before qualifying. It'll give us a good indication of our relative pace and consistency. A bit like a rubber out on track. Try to take it easy for a couple of laps. this circuit. This is a really strong foundation to build from over the weekend. Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay. Engine off. Should remain dry. We will keep you informed of any changes to the weather. Fantastic. You obviously have a really good understanding of this circuit. Okay. That's the end of the program. Box this lap so we can analyze the data. Box this lap. We've had to spend time repairing the damage to the car. So far, our fastest lap is a 1:20.3. Okay, let's update the setup. All set. Everyone clear? Car to track. P7 at the moment. How's the car feeling? Don't be afraid to come in and change your setup. That's what practice is for. We want to be quick, but we also want to be comfortable and consistent. Let's find that balance. To the front wing. Be easy on the car till we get it repaired. We don't want to risk making this worse. right. Let me know you're all right. You've knocked the front wing. The damage only looks minor, but you'll need to take it easy to avoid making the problem worse. To remain dry for a while. We will update you if the outlook changes. was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please. skids, come in and take a look at the data, and if we have time, we'll rerun the program. Car repairs have set us back a little. So far, our fastest lap is a 1 minute 19.1.
As all the cars are now over the line, your top three again are Hamilton, Raikkonen and Max Verstappen. Practice times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F1 action soon.
Okay.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top three. Rosberg. An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top three, who are Rosberg, Here we are at one of the most difficult...
Okay, you should be able to get into the next qualifying session easily.
Motor racing has come a long way since the first Grand Prix of the early 20th century. We have faster cars, bigger circuits, highly trained drivers who've dedicated their lives to racing. But still, we return here. With that then, let's run through... A great win then for the Mercedes team today. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of...
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Well, the lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Probably Carlos Sainz. You know, strong pace, good...